The views and opinions expressed on My Story Living with Lupus podcast are each individual's experience. By listening to this podcast or reading our blog, you agree not to use this podcast or blog as medical advice to treat any medical condition in either yourself or others. As always, consult your own physician for any medical issues that you may be having. Thank you for joining me for another episode of My Story Living with Lupus. I'm your host, Susan Hendricks, and I'm so glad that you can join me on this Friday. On this episode, I will be bringing you news that some researchers have found that lupus strongly linked to imbalances in the gut. And I want to tell you about an award-winning short film, Standing 8, by producer Cassie Tokeners. And we'll be talking with Detroit's own author of Positive Energy 24/7 and It Was Destined Urban Legend. So, you know what to do. Grab your cup of coffee, your cup of tea, and if you're listening late at night, you know I appreciate it. So grab your favorite glass of wine and join me right here on My Story Living with Lupus. Welcome back. This topic caught my interest in Science Daily, dated February the 19th, 2019. Lupus strongly linked to imbalances in gut microbiome. And if you're unfamiliar with exactly what microbiome is, it breaks down food to release energy, and it produces vitamins. It protects us against germs. So, the disease systemic lupus erythematosus, SLE, marked by the attack on joints, skin, and kidneys by the body's immune system, is linked to an abnormal mix of bacteria in the gut. This is according to a new study led by scientists at NYU School of Medicine. While bacterial imbalances have been tied to many immune-related diseases, including inflammatory bowel disease, arthritis, and some cancers, the authors of the current study say their experiments are the first detailed evidence of a link between bacterial imbalances in the gut and potentially life-threatening forms of SLE. The new study, published in Rheumatic Diseases Online February 19th, showed that 61 women diagnosed with SLE had roughly 5 times more gut bacteria than 17 women of similar ages and racial backgrounds who did not have the disease and were healthy. Lupus is more common in women than men. Moreover, the study results showed that disease flares, which can range from instances of skin rashes, joint pain, to severe kidney dysfunction requiring dialysis, closely tracked major increases in bacterial growth in the gut, alongside the presence in blood samples of immune proteins called antibodies. Now, to read further into this article, I will post it on My Story Living with Lupus website. So you can go there to read further in the article, because the article is pretty lengthy and I did not want to bore you about what researchers have currently found. Or better yet, you can go to http://www.sciencedaily.com/releases/2019/02//1902///2019/02/1908/0742.htm to read further. Abundant Harvest Aquaponics, planting seeds to grow food and creating opportunities for people and families. You can contact this nonprofit organization at www.abundantharvestaquaponics.org. Standing 8, award-winning short film, is available on Amazon right now. And you may be asking, why is she talking about Standing 8? Or what is Standing 8? Well, I'm going to tell you the reason why I'm talking about it. Because I truly appreciate and love what actor, writer, and producer Cassie Tokenus has done to bring forth awareness regarding lupus. And you know what else he did? With proceeds from the downloads and sales are going to the Lupus Foundation of America. Standing 8 is about a boxer who is forced to retire and contend with life outside of the ring after being diagnosed with systemic lupus. Mr. Tokenus drew his inspiration from his days as a Golden Gloves boxer and from one particular person, the love of his mother, her real-life struggles with the disease for more than 40 years. This is truly a labor of love, through and through. His inspiration came from his mother, who has been fighting systemic lupus nephritis since before he was born. You know, lupus affects millions of people around the globe, yet so few people even know what the disease actually does to the body. Since its completion, Standing 8 has screened at 28 festivals around the world and has won 11 awards, including Best Short Film, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor. After all the success the film has received among festivals, Mr. Tokenus has decided to use it as a tool to help raise awareness and educate. Now, who couldn't love someone like that? Loves his mother enough, takes her real life struggles dealing with this chronic illness to bring forth awareness through a short film. I would like all of my listeners, whether or not you are affected by this illness, to go over to Amazon and help support bringing lupus awareness and educate around the world. And Mr. Kazi Tokenus, I would like to thank you for letting me put this into my podcast. You know, the fight is not always in the ring, because we fight a daily fight for our lives. So check out Standing 8. And better yet, tell you what I want you to do. You can go over to his website at www.imdb.com. That's Standing 8. Check it out. Better yet, please download it and become educated about this horrific illness. When I return, I'll be talking with Detroit's own Author Henery X. If you would like to appear on an episode of My Story Living with Lupus, you can contact us at mystorylivingwithlupus@gmail.com. Also visit us on our Instagram page and also our website, My Story Living with Lupus. He is the author of Positive Energy 24/7 and his newest book, It Was Destined Urban Legend. He's Detroit's own Author Henery X. Thank you for joining me today on My Story Living with Lupus podcast.
The pleasure is mine, Susan. Pleasure is all mine.
Now, before we get into your latest creation, I want you to tell the listening audience about your book, Positive Energy 24/7, and how it came about.
Yes, ma'am. Well, Positive Energy 24/7 actually wasn't even a thought on my mind. The second book was actually the first book. That's the book that I started writing first. But as we all should know, but if we don't, man plans, but God is the best of planners. So it was meant for me to put that book I was writing first, that's the second book, on the